Okay, so imagine this for a second. Remembering absolutely everything.
Everything, like every single detail.
Yeah, not just, good recall for facts, but the whole movie of your life. What you wore last Tuesday, what you ate 6 months back. Every conversation. Perfectly clear.
Every single detail, every emotion.
Exactly. Sounds like the ultimate superpower, right? The kind of memory we all kind of wish we had sometimes.
It absolutely does sound like that, but here's where it gets really fascinating.
Okay.
For an incredibly small number of people, this isn't just imagination, it's their actual daily reality.
Really?
Yeah, we're talking about a condition called highly superior autobiographical memory. HSAM for short.
HSM. Okay, I think I've heard of this. But there's a catch, isn't there?
There's a huge catch, and that's the twist. For the people who actually have it, this perfect memory, it's often described less like a gift and more like a mental prison.
Wow, a mental prison. That's intense.
It really is, and it's incredibly rare. We're talking maybe 60 known cases worldwide, so exceptionally rare.
Okay, so today we're doing a deep dive into this. What HSAM actually is, how it really shapes the lives of these individuals.
And why this thing that sounds so amazing, this incredible ability, can actually turn into a really heavy burden, something they can't escape.
Right, so let's unpack that. First off, what isn't HSM? Because people might confuse it with other things.
That's crucial. Yeah. It's definitely not photographic memory, not in the way people usually think about it.
Okay.
It's not about memorizing complex math formulas on the spot or, long lists of numbers just by looking at them.
Right, so it's not about facts out there, it's about their own life, their personal experience.
Exactly. It's and here's the key, involuntary recall of their own lives.
Involuntary, meaning they don't choose to remember.
Pretty much. Imagine every single day, you know the exact date, the time, what you were wearing, how you felt.
Wow.
Even word-for-word conversations from decades ago. It all just floods back, uninvited. They're not even trying to remember.
Or it just happens.
It's just there, constantly. The most famous case, maybe the first documented one, is Jill Price.
Jill Price, right.
She can basically just scroll through her entire life like it's a calendar in her head. You pick a date, say, June 7th, 1995.
Okay.
She can instantly tell you, oh, that was a Wednesday. I had spaghetti for lunch, and I felt kind of sad that day because I'd argued with my mom.
And she feels the sadness again.
Yes, that's the thing. All with the original emotional reality completely intact, like it's happening right now.
Gosh, that complete access, especially to the painful stuff, involuntarily. It really makes you rethink that whole gift idea.
Absolutely. That leads right into the dark side of it.
Yeah, tell us more about that, the burden aspect.
Well, what's really striking is how her view and the view of others with HSAM often shifts.
Yeah.
What maybe seemed cool at first becomes, curse.
A curse.
Jill Price herself famously called it trauma on autoplay.
Trauma on autoplay, wow.
Because people with HSAM, they're basically forced to relive painful moments again and again. They find it incredibly hard to move past grief or bad breakups, or even just moments of deep embarrassment or shame.
Because the memory never fades, it's always sharp.
Exactly. It stays vivid, raw, constantly accessible, and simple things can trigger a smell, a song playing somewhere, just a random word someone says.
And boom, they're right back there.
Right back there. It can cause these deep emotional relapses, forcing them to experience that past pain like it's fresh. So the past, it's never really past for them.
That sounds exhausting, just incredibly taxing emotionally.
So what about the science? What's going on in their brains? Are they physically different?
Well, science is definitely trying to figure that out. MRI scans have given us some important clues.
Like what?
We see some brain regions that are, enlarged, specifically parts of the temporal lobe.
Which is involved in memory, right?
Yes, but crucially, not just storage, also retrieval. So maybe that helps explain why these memories just flood in so easily without effort. Okay, that makes sense. Anything else?
And there seem to be stronger connections in another area, the caudate nucleus. That part's linked more to, habit formation and emotion.
Habit. Like the remembering becomes automatic, almost compulsive.
Possibly. It might tie into that involuntary, almost obsessive quality of the recall. In fact, it's interesting, many people with HSM also show obsessive traits, sort of like a mild OCD.
Huh. So it's not just memory, it's tied into other patterns too.
Yeah, it suggests it's a really complex neurological thing. Definitely more than just having a super memory. It's a whole different wiring.
Okay, so hearing all this, the obvious question, I guess, for a lot of us listening is, can you learn this? Can you train yourself to have HSM?
Ah, the big question.
Like, are there memory palace tricks or special drills? Is this something you can unlock?
Yeah, it's a natural thing to wonder, but the short answer is, unfortunately, no.
No,
Really?
really.
Yeah.
People with HSM, they don't use special techniques. They certainly didn't train for it. Their brains are just fundamentally different.
So it's not a skill? Not a skill. It's involuntary, it's automatic, it's constant. It's this flow of memories they literally cannot switch off or control. It's just how their minds work.
Wow. Okay. So, we started off thinking about how great perfect memory would be.
Yeah.
But hearing all this, it really makes you pause and think, doesn't it? Maybe forgetting is actually kind of essential. Like, maybe it's what keeps us sane.
That's a really profound takeaway, I think. Imagine experiencing every single awkward conversation, every mistake, every loss, every bad day.
With that same original clarity and emotional punch over and over.
Yeah. It definitely makes you appreciate our own, imperfect memories a bit more, doesn't it?
It really does, that ability to let things fade.
It's a powerful thought. For most of us, forgetting kind of dulls the edges of life's experiences. It lets us heal, move on, find some peace with the past.
But not for them.
No. For people with HSM, the past is always sharp, always right there, completely present. It's like they don't just live in time.
Yeah.
Time lives in them.
And there's no pause button.
Exactly. No pause button.